exploring that floor. I am now out of food, and therefore cannot continue, and therefore I'm clicking over this other tab here, uh, which is pretty straightforward. At various points, things show up in here that you can spend extra resources on to get like a one-time thing, usually unlocking some new feature, generally speaking. I guess always unlocking some new feature, really. In this case, it is adding a new action, the forage action. So, I can now sit here, watch this progress bar tick up, getting fractions of food and also herbs of a medicinal nature, as noted in the journal down here. And again, like, there are a lot of games in this sort of subgenre. Most of them right now would have me just like manually clicking on this button every time, and then give me some kind of, oh well, here is a feature that would automatically click on it every X seconds. So you don't have to. And like, I don't want to sit here click my mouse all day. That's fine. Just do your thing. Also, while that's going on, I can look around at other things here. I have another development to forage faster. Let's hit that right away, frankly. And replant those seeds to really speed that up. So at this point, I don't particularly care about the hole, frankly, but I can sell some food if I get 4 treasure, and I'm getting one every time I go into the hole. And I have a decent amount of food there. However, there is an achievement every time you hit the cap on a resource, so let's just give that another couple seconds. And I'm sure I'll get it eventually, but might as well get it out of the way now. Another thing I like about this is it doesn't really do like the massive numerical inflation that is kind of a staple of the genre. Every so often it just kind of gives you this little development to just like condense things back down to more reasonable numbers and speeds. But mostly it's just short. So, okay. I have foraged all I can. I am full up on both food and herbs. Let's go back into this hole. And suddenly I stop, because I have fully explored this floor. You have a finite amount of time you can spend on each floor, then you have to delve deeper. We advance our little storyline down here of exploring the hole. And sometimes the costs and rewards change, which is kind of a big important thing, actually. If you're ever stuck, just like go deeper into the hole and you'll like find new resources. Anyway, I have enough treasure. Let's see what this village is all about. We have 2 options now. I'm going to do both of these, frankly. One of them is, okay, I can start selling treasure I find. I can also start selling these herbs I'm finding. Which, yes, are marijuana, just in case that was unclear. So, I am now treasure free. But can, when I next have treasure, sell for some money, which is a separate resource. For now, though, let me just top back off real quick. And I will, once again, go down into the hole here. It's also marginally faster to just trade for food with the old herbs there. Alright. There's also this option I'm just going to hit now, which is to just automatically advance to the next floor when you can. You usually want to do that. You might not want to if you, like, want to observe. Well, if you want to, first of all, read along with the very evocative text here of what you're exploring. It'll change pretty fast sometimes, and also, again, the cost and rewards can change. You might want to have the brakes there to stop you from, say, getting to the floor that has oil on it, and just kind of wasting it all by being capped out on it and not ready to spend it for other such concerns. Yeah, let's see. I'm going to need either all the food or all the money. Let's just quickly trade these in. Also, I'm sorry, I was planning a lot more for tonight, but, yeah, I am very tired, as I said, because I did not sleep. This is the thing that happens. I can sell either food or treasure. Treasure has no real value besides selling it, though, so, here's yet another resource. I can spend some of this on a couple of things here. I'll do both of these. Get some gear to explore faster. Get some tips on foraging. And now need both food and money to get anywhere, really. Yeah, I mean, if you look at the text of it, it's very, very clear what kind of herb it is, yes. Hopefully it's readable on there. Maybe they're also used for making magic potions, but, like, it's marijuana. This has a nice presentation to it for this sort of thing, too, with the, like, actual music, which changes as you get farther into the game, and some sound effects, which are kind of annoying. But fairly quickly, as is kind of the nature of this genre, I'm going to take my money here. And my small pile of food. And wander off and get slowly dragged into running a whole town, basically. Meanwhile, I have been continuing to play Metal Gear Solid 5 in my downtime. I am like over 100 hours into this thing. I am officially about halfway through. I think I'm close to seeing the first set of credits, as I understand the structure of it, though. Is that something? I'm guessing this. So I noticed when I was playing it most recently, looking carefully over the various weapons I could research, that there is, in fact, a non-lethal option in the rocket launchers. At which point I then saw it is specifically the option to just load the balloons into your rocket launcher. Which struck me as a weapon to surpass Metal Gear, as it were. Unfortunately, they don't tell you is that it's just like the standard start of the game balloons. You can't use them to just like snag a helicopter out of the air. You can't even use them on like a tank. It's just if I don't want to make 2 trips to shoot the guy with the stun dart and then walk all the way over there and tie a balloon to him, I can just cut out the middle and fire a balloon and rocket launcher at him. And I mean, I do appreciate that on some level, but like, I feel like this is some false advertising. Yeah, another resource that this whole list eventually kind of fills in. It is kind of a slow start. And the other thing that's going on is, okay, I unlocked the whole FOB thing, which is, after a while, you get the option to build a second offshore Army Guy platform, which can basically become the same size as the original, and will, increase your income and, like, total skill pools and all that. However, the catch is that once you have it, other people can like go attack it and invade it and like kill people on it and kidnap people on it and take all the guns that aren't nailed down as this kind of asynchronous multiplayer thing. And like, it's not opt-in. I think you can pay like actual money to not have anybody be allowed to attack you. Otherwise, it's just a thing that you gotta deal with. Or at least you had to deal with it when the game was new. It's been out for a while, and there's kind of nobody playing it right now. So, I have barely interacted with this feature. However, there's also an event running until tomorrow at the moment. I'm sure there's another one after that. Of just, here are some NPC bases that you can just go and invade like this, and get some points. And the points can be turned in for things. Not really terribly exciting things. A lot of, like, here's an alternate color for, like, generic Army Guy fatigues, if you'd like. Or, here are some guys with decent stats. Enjoy. Okay, I'm starting to get some stuff here. I can now go hunting instead of foraging if I don't care about the herbs. Also, I'm in the Petrified Forest here. I do like the little progression of just, like, very descriptive text here. It's very easy to ignore while you're just playing the game, though. You can tab back to the pages. Should you have missed when this transitioned into this, for instance. But yeah, so most of it's not that impressive. Then there's like, here's some weapon, here's some like stun landmine. And then here's a little section where you can get some Speedos in various colors. One of which is just like this nice lovely shade of red. And at this point I realized a couple things. First of all, like, in the character creation thing at the start of the game, I just put in and did my best to recreate Sean Connery. And now I have this red Speedo. And now there's this thing where, I guess major spoilers, but there's this whole development later in the game where there is this freaky virus that is technically parasitic vocal cord monsters that are loose in your base and infecting everyone and causing them to just like die really, really, really quickly. And the eventual way that you deal with this is you find some eccentric old guy in a mansion in Africa that's very heavily guarded. You sneak in past all his goons and find him. Then he's just, very polite and willing to follow you home and cure your disease with that one strain of bacteria that they use to, like, trans the gender of mosquitoes on your vocal parasites, because, like, they're deadly when they do their mating thing. And it's like, but we gotta watch out because it'll affect the host too. So it's like, okay, I guess I'm going to force fem my whole offshore platform full of army guys because the penis is evil and the gun is good, and I am Sean Connery in a red Speedo, and, like, I did not plan this out like this, but suddenly it's Zardoz. And that's the thing that happens sometimes in life. Next. Got the money right. Okay, this is a good one. First, need more money to actually hire them. And then this probably moves into a, like, management game, frankly. For now, need money. I yearn for the mines, etc. When I shouldn't have topped off on wood, because I just realized I haven't petrified forest, and it's dropping here now. Whoops. Do. And every time you get anything, there's a little journal entry down here. But yeah, so the Zardoz thing happened, and that was interesting. And there's also a really fun bit where, like, in the period between, finding out, oh, hey, everybody's dying of the plague here, sorry about that, and the part where you, like, cure them with the forest fem bacteria, there's this whole period where it's just like, okay, you can quarantine people if you think they might be infected or, like, can spread to other people. We're not going to give you any clues. You'll just have to work this out on your own. And so you're just, like, going over your, biographies of, like, 700 people looking for commonalities and showing them on the quarantine platform where they're not doing their work anymore. Which, is going to, whether you do that or not, it's going to tank the hell out of your stats, because either you're taking people off work for their own safety, or you're not, and they're dying of the plague. So while that's going on, you go to your little mansion raid and make a new friend. Hey, people. Suddenly we got, like, a whole lot of lore and such. Let's have a shed. Let's talk to some people. Let's talk to some other people. Let's get more loot. Yeah, this whole cycling through things here is kind of just the early game. But yeah, so you're in the middle of doing that, and then suddenly, surprise, boss fight. And surprise, it's one of those boss fights where you can't just tranquilize them and kind of have to use, like, actual damaging weapons, which the game, broadly speaking, like, really, really discourages you from ever touching. I have to to not sell all that, right? Yeah. Yeah, so you're kind of encouraged to take the non-lethal option like all the time, and most likely aren't going to even bother to, you know, get decent guns that can penetrate armor or high explosives or anything like that. And once you're in this boss fight, like, I mean, you're not, like, forced into the fight. You can go into your menus and mess with stuff, but, like, all of your dudes are either, you know, in quarantine or dying. So your research stats are plummeting. So, like, you're not going to get the really cool guns now. You're just going to have to do what you have. And it's like, I kind of appreciate that mean trap, like, 100 hours into a game. So, yeah, that was a fun surprise. Anyway, okay. I can get a little hut. I can chop a couple trees. Several trees, really. Enough. Okay. So now I have a friend who I can send into the dungeon for me. While I'm at it. Grab a couple more trees. Another little friend that is all of my freebie land. This price doesn't actually, like, scale up like all these ones do, so, like, I don't know why buying land is even, like, a thing, really. It's just kind of like, do you have any money at all, or do you spend, like, every single cent? But, yeah. So now I have two people. I can just send one down there. I can send one over there. And I have neither to do my own dungeon diving or my own food getting. I can just focus on selling stuff while I wait for the next set of things to open up here. And also grab some extra wood. But, yeah, so that was, again, like, interesting little surprise boss fight and whatnot. And I'm fairly sure that the game is going to be a coward about the force fem bacteria and not actually change the gender of all the people in my base. You know, it takes a few years before the sort of thing really kicks in properly. As we all know. Let's see what's going to get here. Alright. We need to get a little money by the land. Shit on it, up these maximums by a bit. More. Get one of these. Add a little more. Make another friend. Send that friend out to chop wood all day. There's actually 26. I'm going to have to create this yet again. First buy land yet again. And of course, even though I can, you know, hyper elusive, I'm also just like personally do whatever. Just move that focus around. I think you are slightly better than the people you hire, but it's like 1.5 times if anything. Maybe even just one. Let's see, what else? What else is new on the Metal Gear front? Oh, there's the child soldiers. That's a whole thing. Where you find a bunch of random child soldiers who are actually, like, kind of freaky. Because it's like, hey, they're like 10. You're not allowed to tie a balloon to them. Or you know, choke them out. And it's like, well... those are my two things I do. I am out of my element on this one. That. What I need. I can actually save up a real amount of money. In the meantime, what else can I get that I don't have yet? I can get a shopping. Personally jump around to get things moving more smoothly. So yeah, the first thing with the child soldiers is like, okay, you kind of can't fight them. You gotta, like, you are allowed to throw them around if you do the whole, like, run up and hit the attack button to just, like, just absolutely choke slam them into the floor. That's fine. You're just not allowed to, like, you know, put your arms around their neck. Which feels like one of those things where it's like, this is what standards and practices said when we asked. Or the ESRB or someone. And then the other thing is, later you find some other child soldiers, and their leader is like Liquid Snake, but he's like 12, and he's just this like petulant little loser. You repeatedly have to just like toss around like a ragdoll while he's trying to stab you, and it's very good. But sadly, he also doesn't have the original voice actor, which I think would have enhanced things a bit. Anyway, the other thing is, I think around the time that you unlock the whole extra base thing, you also get the ability to just play as other characters that you have wandering around on your base. Just, you know, anyone who's up for it. I think they have to be in, like, your combat unit, but, like, yeah, you can just kind of grab one of them and have them be the person running around, and everybody calls you boss still, and it's a little surreal. And, you know, like, one out of every, like, 300 soldiers is a girl, so hey, that's an option. And then you can wear the various slutty costumes from past Metal Gear games if you're so inclined. Their stats are terrible, and also you don't have your robot arm, because only the one character has that. Oh. Bulk discount on land, you say? Take of that eventually. First, let me get a shop here. Move you around. Sell some wheat on the street just because I can. Did I space out and like have a person just sitting around that I wasn't using at all? Everything's flowing in at some rate. Yeah, there's some really interesting little like set piece levels higher things tucked away in that game, which I like quite a bit. Uh, yeah. So I'm making progress here. I'm going to be finished soon. I feel like there's only so many little side missions it can throw me. The game will eventually end. I will eventually free up a huge chunk of my hard drive and be able to go back to the regular alphabet streaming without worrying about space issues. So I'll look forward to that a bit. Yeah. Once again, I'm sorry. I am, like I said, very tired tonight. That's why I'm just playing this mindless thing. That, and again, I wanted to sleep. Well, this is what I got attracted by last night, and then just didn't sleep. Meow, meow, meow. Ow. Hi. Hello. Meow, meow. To you, too. Honestly, while I'm waiting for that, like, it's just faster to, do a bit of this sometimes. It's not quite a perfect ratio, but it's better than it was. I do appreciate that there's pretty robust options for the sound when this all gets to be really annoying. Okay. There. A ton of land. Okay. Let's get one of those. Let's get one of those. Really throw a lot of people at that particular problem. This one, I'm gonna do. Okay, we'll just take some time with it. Ow. Meow. Food production, that is now topped off nicely. I have wandered into the mine shop when I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, double shot duty on food. Not to be personally working with that. To work on selling this stuff. Okay. Yeah. Probably going to want some extra people on wood. which I should probably top it off at some point. Expand out a bit. Yeah, it gets like increasingly complicated and harder to manage, and you start getting thrown curveballs by this, suddenly having you like need to bring along healing potions or give you weirder resources. Like, oh, I'm actually just getting stone from that now. And there's a few points in the game where it's like, okay, did I just soft lock this? Because, like, for instance, there's a finite number of floors in the cave, and you eventually hit the bottom, and then you can't explore it anymore because there's nothing to explore, and there's no way to get the treasure resource, and then it'll just, like, wait a little bit and go, oh, okay, here, you can, like, buy treasure with money now. And so on and so forth. There's also this whole thing where, there's this, let's call it a resource of corruption that you start getting from various things where people are not happy with you, and number go up, and as number goes up, everything slows down, which is bad. And then there's, like, for the obsessive types, there is the achievements. Everything is bad and everything is good. This is if you get your unrest up to 80% by just, like, building slums, basically. And then there's one for after getting it up to 80%, getting it back down under 20. And basically the rest of these are just, you know, number go up, number cap out. Yeah. That's basically how this game goes. You keep getting this stuff. Later on, there's a fourth tab where there are big cash sink projects that are either a one-off thing or repeatable with the cost doubling every time that do pretty impressive things. One of them is it cuts the price of upgrading your warehouse down to like 2% of what it is. What was it, 20? Maybe 20%, but it's still just like absurdly massive discount. You can just get that multiple times, and it's kind of required after a point to just do that or proceed. I'm really like losing coherence here. I'm sorry. But yeah, you know, it's a one of these. You play with your spreadsheet. You get all your numbers nicely balanced in this right column here. It sounds good, more soundy. Again, there are, like, at various stages, upgrades where it's like, okay, we're going to do, like, way more work, but do it more slowly so that these bars aren't constantly just, like, flickering on you. Yeah, that is this game. It's pretty simple. It's, you know, one of these. You can definitely finish it in a single session, because I did. I started it late, though, and that was not a good idea. See, again, sorry I didn't, like, do a real proper stream this week. I am just, like, absolutely dead on my feet. I need to just crawl into the nearest bed as quickly as possible. So, yeah, gonna be calling this here. It's nice to show off little indie games sometimes.